Welcome to Anderson Penn's Sunday Brunch, menu 18 for Sunday, October 9th, 2022. My name is Eric. Across from me is, of course, Mr. Brian Anderson. Brian, how are you?
Oh,
haven't seen you in a month.
At least.
So good
at
to
least.
see you. How's the cycling thing going now that it's fall?
It's quite a challenge in the morning. It's a little bit colder than I'm used to.
But we are going out.
We're trying, yeah. We did it this
I
week.
think this last Monday, we did meet on the road, went around the block and said, that's it, too cold.
We ended up at Copper Rock. And
yeah, because it was cold.
It was.
And we were not prepared. Not prepared. But we have since prepared and been a little warm, I think.
Yes.
So we're getting used to it. I should mention that today, October 9th, is very near and dear to my heart, World Post Day.
World Post?
Post as in mail.
Oh.
World Post Day, not the cereal, is celebrated each year on October 9th, which is the anniversary of the establishment of the Universal Postal Union in 1874 in Switzerland. It was declared World Post Day by the Universal Postal Union Congress held in Tokyo, Japan in 1969. Since then, countries across the globe participate annually in celebrations, with what I think is the possible exception of the United States Postal Service. So I have gone to their website to see what stamp we're releasing for this, and I can't find it. Okay. But you know I like mail.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. And
Except
so
if it's a bill.
I like sending. I'm talking personal.
Personal mail, yeah.
Personal mail. Personal mail for me is fun, Inco and all that. So I am a big fan of World Post Day. And the next thing on my list is a throwback wristwatch. But we just constantly wear Apple Watches now.
Apple Watches.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to. Should I apologize or take credit for that?
You can take credit for that.
I'll take credit.
Yeah, you'll take credit for that. Probably saved me loads of money.
Future purchase?
Yes.
Although you're going to replace that at some point.
Probably.
But it won't be a $10,000. Who makes a $10,000 watch?
Lots of people.
That's it for the banter. Now I'm supposed to ask you to like this video and please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. And Mr. Anderson has a joke. I know this because he told me he had a joke.
Did you know that penguins produce an oil that helps their feathers to retain body heat?
Penguins produce an oil
Helps retain body
heat. Is there a punchline?
Yes, which once again proves that the oily bird gets the worm.
The oily bird gets the worm. Okay, I'm going to remember that one.
Sorry, I had to write it down.
The oily bird gets the worm. Very good. I'll give that an A. You're not going to like this one because I don't either. What do you call, Mr. Anderson, an event that involves money?
A bank. I don't know.
An occurrency. An occurrency. See, that one you could actually use. We're going to just put that into our everyday usage of the English language. Show and tell time. You have something to show.
I do have something to show.
I think you put it in the desk drawer.
Thank you for reminding me where it is.
He wouldn't show it to me.
I don't think you've seen this yet.
So it must be something special. Did this come from your chest of magical pens?
This actually, I bought like last week. So.
And I haven't seen it?
No.
Oh.
No, as I took it home right away.
I can see it's an overlay.
A customer and I made a trade, and this is the pen, which is a very interesting pen. I don't have anything like it. It's made by the company, the Sterling Company, which makes this complicated because this actually is a sterling silver overlay, but it's over modeled hard rubber, which is unusual. Because most of the time your sterling overlays are over black. You don't have too many overlays over modeled hard rubber. The nib on this is completely wrong. It's not the correct nib. But it's got a little damage here. It looks like they took a piece and soldered it in. But what makes this super cool is that, do you know what kind of filling system this is?
I'm going to say sleeve.
Nope.
Well, then eyedropper.
Well, you don't see anything up here. But this bottom part comes open. And this is what is referred to as a middle joint eyedropper. So you would now fill this part with ink, and then when you put
That is interesting.
this back on here, if it's going to leak, it's going to leak right at this joint here, not where your fingers are.
So instead of getting your fingers inky, you get your whole hand.
Well, you don't, if it leaks,
It's not going to leak anyway. So it is an eyedropper.
it's an eyedropper. Yeah, it's a middle joint eyedropper.
Middle joint eyedropper.
And the only way I was able to decipher anything about this was the patent date. There's a patent date on the cap for the cap, for how the cap seals. And I was able to decipher the actual date, and knowing that patents are only issued on Tuesdays, I was able to find out which one it was, because I couldn't tell. It said October, and I couldn't tell if it was 13th, 3rd, 31st of 1899. And it turns out on October 3rd, 1899, Sterling produced a patent for something on the cap. So this is a Sterling middle joint eyedropper.
Sterling is.
They were out of Boston. They were out of Boston, yeah.
But the nib is incorrect.
Yeah, that's a Waterman nib, so chance of finding an original nib is next to none.
And you are a fan of overlays.
Yes, yeah.
And that's very interesting.
It's a very cool pen.
This is now joining your permanent collection,
Yes,
I imagine.
yes.
Because it is an oddity.
Yep.
You're just going to call that the Sterling overlay?
It's a Sterling overlay.
Sterling overlay.
Yeah, middle joint pillar.
Does it have a number on the bottom?
Nope, no number.
No number.
Yeah. So probably somewhere around 1900.
So over 100 years old.
Yes.
Very nice. Very nice.
That's my pen for the day.
I have brought a story to tell you.
Oh.
And I'll share it with the audience as well, since they're here. I want you to go back in time, Mr. Anderson, to approximately 1887 in the country of Hungary.
Okay.
1887 Hungary, a baby boy is born. That's all I know. But by 1917, this young man had immigrated to the United States and was living in Brooklyn, New York, and was a part-time musician, probably just busking, but who knows? His World War I registration card lists his profession as gold pens, which means he made gold nibs, because nibs were called pens up until sometime in the 20s.
That's correct, yep.
He was at that time working for a pen maker by the name of St. George Fountain Pen Company, somewhere in New York. He somehow survived the influenza pandemic of 1918 to 1920 and began a bit of a side hustle in which he made nibs for himself and put his name on them. And he also made or had made clips with his name, levers with his name, and barrels with his name.
Oh, you know what that means.
Tier 1.
Well, worth looking at.
Worth looking at. In what I'm going to call circa 1925, this man made an oversized pen with rosewood barrel and cap. Where and how that pen has spent the majority of its time is a mystery to me, but what I do know is that in January of 2009, I bought the pen.
Ooh.
And I have brought it with me.
Ooh, this is fun.
And the reason this pen is here is because I think in the very next vintage mailer at the end of this month, you have one by this maker. So do you now know the maker?
I may or may not, actually.
This is a Kritzler.
Oh, I want to see this. Look at this. Look at that. Oversized.
Well, they say it's oversized, but by today's standards, it's kind of an average size.
Yeah. Boy, that's nice. Oh, look at that.
And so I think the barrel says Kritzler Pen
L.
Company?
Kritzler Pen
L.
Company.
Kritzler
yeah.
Pen Company. The lever has Kritzler and
LK.
LK. Same with the clip. And the nib is a Kritzler nib.
Number 8, yeah.
Number 8,
yeah.
14 karat.
Huh, look at that.
But I think many people say it looks like, is there a company called Morrison?
Morrison, yeah.
That maybe he got the parts from Morrison?
It looks kind of like a National Pen Products Company pen, too, which was out of Illinois. They made these kind of third tier almost flat tops. Yeah, that's cool. And it's a resin. It's not hard rubber. It's plastic. Because we got
Means it'll last forever, right?
Neat. Look at that.
Yeah. So this is I don't use it, but you did get a pen, a Kritzler pen. That
We did get a Kritzler, yes.
And I think the nib is a Kritzler nib.
The nib is a Kritzler
which
nib.
would be the second one I've ever seen, except this pen came with the original Kritzler. That the person I bought it from broke when he tried to flex it, and so he had to source.
He had to find another one.
Find another one.
Oh my goodness!
But apparently that pen may not be it. Maybe you're going to keep it. Now that I've read the story,
I might have it in my pen case right now.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
but it doesn't have a clip, and that was part of the problem. The clip was missing on the pen. It's a gold-filled filigree overlay, Kritzler.
So I'm going to ask you a vintage question.
Okay.
That we may or may not have covered in the past, but 2009 I got this, so 13 years ago. It had been resacked when I bought it, but I haven't used it since. Can I pull on that lever?
You probably can, yeah.
10 years is not.
No. If you
No.
Did you put any ink in it?
Did I have ink in it when I put it in the drawer? That's the question.
Dun, 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 dun.
Watch me break this lever right off the pen.
And if there's any resistance, just stop.
Well, I feel resistance. What do you feel? Oh, he's going to pull the whole pen apart. And that'll be the final chapter in my pen.
Oh, good thing we didn't. It's time to replace that.
Look at that. Okay, so I'll just leave that with you. Oh, wait, you taught me how to do this, didn't
I
you?
taught you how to do this. Justin, go grab us some
Put this back
sacks here.
together.
No, you might as well just leave it apart. Because we're gonna fix that for you later.
Yeah, good thing we didn't. Okay, well, thank you for breaking my pen. Moving right along. Do you remember our last podcast?
Yes.
Yes, and I'll bet everyone in our audience remembers the last podcast. Well, what was my ink of the week?
Your ink of the week was Maine.
It was Maine, and I'll have
Sailor Maine.
I'll have Justin show the pictures of it.
It's brown.
Everyone should be familiar with it because everyone has watched the podcast, and that is what we are playing for this week is a sample of Sailor 50 States Maine.
I didn't get this right last time.
That you didn't, but we're going to give you a second try, and this time we've just got true-false questions. True-false, and you have to get 2 of the 3 right. And if you get 2 of the 3 right, then the first person who's watching who places an order at Anderson Pens and says, please give me the sample of Maine, will get this sample of Maine just included in the order. That was what we agreed to
Yes.
last time, right?
Yes.
So you need to get 2 out of 3 of these, right? And they're just true-false, so that's good odds, right?
2 out of 3. Okay.
2 out of 3.
I can do this.
True or false, Mr. Anderson? The black box in an airplane is black.
No.
Is that true or false?
That's false.
You're saying that the black box in an airplane is black is a
Silver.
false statement.
It's silver.
You said false, and that is correct. It's false. They're usually orange.
They're orange.
Usually orange. Probably so you can find them when you need to find them. True or false? So that's one. True or false? The national animal of Scotland is the unicorn.
That's false. Come on.
That is absolutely true.
It is not.
It is absolutely
It
true.
is not.
Yes, it is.
What are you guys doing over there? Unicorn?
They're enjoying life.
That's not even a real.
Don't tell them that.
All right.
Okay.
I got one more chance
This
here.
is it. This is for everything. True or false, Mr. Anderson? Australia, and I'm talking about the country,
As opposed to
Australia,
the city, or
is wider than the moon.
where do you come up with this stuff? False. No, but it sounds like it might be true. But
I'm going to say final answer.
But unicorn certainly as heck didn't sound like it was ever going to be true. False.
The question was, Australia is wider than the moon. Mr. Anderson has said false, and I'm afraid it's true. It's true, so nobody gets his main. The moon's diameter is just under 2,200 miles, and Australia's width is about 2,500. So Australia is quite large. Quite large.
These are not easy questions.
We'll keep trying. We'll keep trying. These are available for sale, I should point out. We had a topic. We were prepared for a different topic, but we're going to save that for next time because something else happened. That was the original topic.
That was the original topic.
You want to tell the audience what we're going to do today?
So let me see. Let me put this out here. So late yesterday, we just got in a shipment of a new brand that we're going to be carrying, and we've all seen it. We saw it shortly after the DC Pen Show, and it finally came in. So let's introduce today Magna Carta.
Pay no attention to Roy.
Pay no attention to...
This says Magna Carta.
It says Magna Carta. That's in Indian, Magna Carta.
So the name of the company is
Magna Carta. Yep.
And as I recall, the owner came here to visit us.
Yeah.
Sat right here where I'm sitting, and we all sat over there like we were in school, and he introduced us to his line of pens. And we were all very impressed.
Yes, yeah.
And picked our favorites, and you placed an order, and here they are, available for purchase right now.
Yes, yeah. So this is the first batch. There are going to be more coming, and there are additional models that we'll pick up eventually.
Those are already my favorites.
Which ones? The ones
These
here?
are closest to me.
Okay.
But you tell us about them.
Let's start over here. So, and we'll do comparisons afterwards, I guess, on size. This is what's called the Denima. So it's actually a denim material that is made into a micarta finish. And then it's paired with a stainless steel number 6 nib. And the nice thing about Magna Carta is they all have ebonite feeds.
Ebonite feeds.
So no plastic feeds anywhere.
Are they not also making these nibs?
They are making these
nibs.
This
is an in-house
the
nib,
number 6 nibs
and
are
an
made
in-house feed, an in-house pen.
Yep.
And this is denim.
This is denim, yeah. It's made into micarta.
Micarta finish.
So it's got that really interesting kind of a matte.
It's wonderful.
Feel to it. It's got an interesting texture to it.
Cartridge converter.
This one, yeah. Comes with the international size.
And I know you said we're going to do comparisons later, but just bring over an Echo.
Okay,
I think everybody knows what an Echo is. Just how big or small is this pen?
Here's an Echo.
See, it's a very good size pen.
It's a good size pen.
Really good size pen, made of a very interesting material. Mm-hmm. Because we're going to call it micarta.
Yeah, we'll call it micarta.
And it's very difficult to find.
There's not a ton of pens. There have been some pens that have been made out of micarta.
Some great pens.
Really great ones.
So this is our new favorite micarta.
Yes.
And when are you going to talk about price points? Because that's one of the most amazing things to me.
Well, what do you think this pen is? I mean, this is essentially is oversized for anybody's, almost anybody's book, right? Here's a King of Pen.
That's a King of Pen.
That's a King of Pen 1911. So all these pens here are essentially
ginormous.
King of Pen size and girth.
Well, this could be several $100s.
It could be.
Because, the nib is not gold.
The nib is not gold, yeah. So, obviously the King of Pen is going to be better in that department.
Now, how does the nib size compare to, let's compare the nib size to the Echo first.
Echo. Just for fun, there we go.
All right, so it's a substantial nib.
Yeah, it's essentially a standard number 6 size nib.
And this is a
pen without a nib,
That's
apparently.
A tiny nib.
Here. So this is the Penlux Masterpiece Grande.
So it looks slightly larger than the Penlux.
Yeah.
It's substantially
larger than that. Yeah.
But probably same size. Well, I mean, that's a sailor nib.
Yeah, it's a sailor nib. It's
can't
got more
compare.
decoration. It's not quite as nice as that.
I'm going to say, well, I know the price.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous price.
It's ridiculously low, in my opinion.
Yes, it's $150
Out the door.
out the door.
Well, plus tax if you're in the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah,
This, a Micarta of this
Micarta,
color?
yep.
With this? Yeah, get these while we have them.
nice clips. I like the style of the clip.
Oh, such a nice.
Most of them are not
these
necessarily
are going to smooth out too. I imagine.
Yeah, they get softer. You know, they're not necessarily designed to post. Most of these, some of them do,
I wouldn't post.
but the barrels are long enough and girthy enough that it's a nice weight in the hand.
What did you call this model?
So this is the Denima.
Denima.
Denima. Yeah.
That is not a Denima.
This is not a Denima. So the next three here, what they call the Element series. So we've got here the sky, the water, and the earth. And what makes these pretty cool, if we open them up, is these are pneumatic fillers. And on the earth and the water, the sections are matching material. The blind caps are matching material. But the blind cap comes off.
This one is just beautiful.
Isn't that something?
This is
Isn't
so
it just
beautiful.
really nice with this? This reminds me of, we used to be Edison Herald this color.
Twist and pull?
No, this actually just pulls out.
Just pulls out.
And then there's a hole on the end. So this is pneumatic.
cover.
You cover it, and then you put it in ink up to and including the section, and then you
And then release.
release it, and you hear that
Yeah.
the little bit of sound.
Fascinating.
And there's a sack in here
Okay.
that will fill. So it's essentially a sack-filled pen, but it's a silicone sack.
So what is this pushing down on? The sack itself?
No, this operates essentially like a vacuum, so like a touchdown filler would on a Schaefer touchdown. On the end, it would create a vacuum, and then it will cause the sack to compress when you.
Okay, so it's creating a.
And then when you
air
let go,
pressure is okay.
yeah, when you let go, then the sack fills.
This is beautiful.
Isn't that nice?
Beautiful.
Really nice. And the sections are really a little bit longer, so you don't end up with your, unless you really hold it far back, you don't end up with your fingers at all on the threads.
No, very comfortable. Nice size.
Nice number 6 size nib. Again, ebonite feed.
So this nib is the same as the
The Denima, yeah.
Denima.
Yeah. This
Ebonite
blue one is
feed.
this water is awesome, isn't it?
It is. I like blue, and that is gorgeous. But for some reason, this
That
is
one
speaking
is-
to me,
yeah,
and it
that's
has gold
nice.
trim. If you
Yeah.
haven't noticed, which usually is a deal breaker for me.
So these are the elements, pneumatic filler, and a very reasonable price of $180.
180
$180 on those.
for a good size pen that is gorgeous and a pneumatic,
And a
interesting
pneumatic.
filler.
Yep.
And again, it is a steel nib,
Steel nib.
number
yep.
6, so it's the same size
Yes.
as this one, made in house.
Made in house. Yeah.
What are these gorgeous things?
All right. So we're now we're moving up a little bit. The next two are what they call the Mag 800. This is another resin. It's a bit chunkier. This pen is actually designed to be a cartridge converter, or you can use it as an eyedropper. But
These colors are just gorgeous.
aren't they great? Now, what's cool about this uses number 8 size nib.
I've gone up in size.
And again,
Also, look at that. huge
ebonite
nib.
feed. Yeah, it's a nice, comfortable pen.
What's the benefit of an ebonite feed?
Ebonite is just a better material as far as
Most feeds are plastic.
most feeds are plastic, but ebonite just it allows your nib to write much better. The ink flows over ebonite much easier. It's just a better experience.
Okay, there is a difference in size, but it's not huge.
No, this actually
this one makes an impression when you take the cap off.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. You compare it to here's your King of Pen nib here. So it's monster. It's a
is
monster nib.
Because the King of Pen is a big nib.
Yeah, that's no small nib. But you can see the Mag 800. It's got a little bit stealthier girth. It has a very fine taper to the back. It's not perfectly straight. but a nice little
the
taper.
material is beautiful.
Yeah.
It almost reminds me of a Van Gogh painting.
Yeah, yeah. It's just that that one is what they call the orange. It's the blue and orange, and this one is the green. But look at this, how this has got this nice blue on here, and of course, every piece is different.
Just beautiful. This one has my preferred trim. And you said cartridge converter?
Cartridge converter or
it's
eyedropper.
designed for
Yes, designed for eyedropper.
How is it designed to be an eyedropper?
I don't know how they designate that, but
Well, obviously it doesn't have any holes.
it doesn't have any holes. Yep. These
Now,
here,
these are this is bigger nib.
bigger nib, but it's a cartridge converter,
Cartridge converter.
number 8 size,
Huge nib.
huge nib,
Ebonite feed.
ebonite
The
feed,
right color for the trim.
180.
180.
180, and you've got yourself a number 8 size nib.
Okay, so far I need these two.
You need those two. Okay. Now we get into my favorites.
Well, yeah, I have my eye on one of those.
Yes. So the next two up here, what we would call the Baron.
These are the Baron.
These are the Baron, and these are just a different resin completely, and this is just super fantastic.
What is it reminiscent of?
It's almost like an Arco.
It's an Arco. Right?
Arco material, yeah. And so you notice, one thing that you do notice is that
They line up.
everything lines
They
up.
line up.
It's designed to line
Please
up.
tell me the section matches.
The section matches,
okay.
And the section lines up.
Lines
And so
up.
everything they do, they make sure that when this goes together, it only goes together one of two ways. So you can do this one.
Correct way or the incorrect way?
It's either that way, or if I go back one notch, it flips around to the other side. So real nice gold trim. And then this is even bigger than, it's about the same size, I guess.
And this is, again, the King
That's
of
the
Pen.
King of Pen, yeah.
I know you said you wanted to do this at the end. But
Well, it's helpful now. So here's the King of Pen.
in a flat top.
In a Pro Gear, yeah. So, but beautiful material. We've got a roller clip, which we've learned is called a what?
Ruzzolino?
Clamp.
Yeah.
But it's got kind of like almost a little Italian look to the
It
clip
does.
with that roller. Nicely
The Baron,
engraved.
The Baron. No, the cartridge converter.
Cartridge converter, yep. Again, number 8 size nib. These are gold plated steel. 8 size, ebonite again.
That's many nibs these days, I have noticed, much to my disappointment. Not that they're bad, but many nibs are laser engraved.
Laser engraved, yeah.
These look stamped.
They are stamped. And
They're
I
stamped.
think they said they even got a special. They got a special machine so they can stamp them in house, because these are supposed to be Jovo number 8 nibs.
That this company is making for Yovo.
No, Jovo is making these, sending them to Magna Carta and Magna Carta stamping.
Okay, so they're not making these in house.
No, these are from Jovo. That's what I've been told. But a beautiful material.
The Baron.
The Baron, yep.
And this says Magna Carta here.
Magna Carta, yep. And these actually post. This one, I know you laughed at me when they were here, but this is a very nice posting pen. It goes on. I mean, it's pretty big. I don't think you need to, but if you wanted to, you can do it.
To pretend you have an emperor.
I almost got an emperor out for this, but this brown one is just really super pretty. And if you catch it in the light just the right way, it's just...
It looks like candy.
It's outstanding. And again, it's, they line up.
And there's a little point at the end.
Yep.
Not exactly flat.
So, little point. And then the tops are just beautiful, the way the stripes and everything, of course it lines up, but it just...
Yeah, the stripes on the ends.
Little fun.
The Baron.
The Baron, yep.
Did you tell me the price on those?
300.
Okay.
300 on that.
300.
Yep.
Screaming good deal.
And this one...
This is my favorite.
This is my favorite too. This one we had specially made for us. This is, and I think we actually even invented the name, did we not?
Well, when he was here, this one didn't have the name.
It didn't have a name.
Everything was royal, so I kept calling it the Prince.
Call it the
And apparently he's going to call it the Prince.
It apparently now is actually named the Prince. But we saw, obviously it's the same material as this, but I think this kind of slate material just begs to have this rhodium trim. And this here is King of Pen sized. So if we've got these two together, it looks just pretty much just like one. except for the clip's a little different.
Might be a little girthier.
Yeah, a little bit girthier.
At least the cap.
And this is interesting too because you'll see how on both sides, like this side is empty here, whiter, and then this side is darker. So that lines up real nice. But you can actually, the only other way it lines up, it still lines up.
Still lines up.
Yeah.
And it does very much remind me of Arco.
Yeah. Yeah. And so.
Okay, there's an engraving that may have been on all of them on the barrel.
On some of them, yeah, the Magna Carta name will line up one of two ways with the clip so that you always see the name. It's a really, really nice touch, I think.
Does it line up with the nib?
And it lines up with the nib, yeah.
Okay, so they put some thought into this.
Yeah, and again,
section matches.
Number
ebonite
8,
feed.
ebonite feed. I mean, it's just really. Does it post? It does post.
Okay, so this is the $500 pen.
This is not $500.
$600?
This is $350.
$350
for this cartridge converter.
Or I would eye dropper,
You probably could,
providing there's no holes in it.
Yeah,
I don't see any.
But this is
I
a
love
really
that the section matches and that it lines up.
It lines up. It's beautiful. It's
and that
really.
nib is just. I think we need a tester for the store.
I think we do. I just haven't. I have to talk with the chief executor
in the requisition, dude.
of requisitions. But I love how those stripes are just so.
Yeah, that's a beautiful.
So fine.
That is.
I was very happy to see that he can make that pen for us because normally it was gold trim. So we got a few of those.
Which is fine.
Which is fine.
I don't happen to prefer gold trim.
But this is better.
Do, but
this is better.
I think silver color trim is better on almost everything.
Yeah, except for this.
Well, it wouldn't look bad though.
It's not as wouldn't look as good.
Wouldn't look bad though.
Wouldn't look as good.
I'm gonna write to him, ask him to make it.
He can do whatever you want.
Beautiful, beautiful color.
Yeah, yeah. The materials are beautiful.
Yeah, these are my personal favorites. I had another one, didn't I?
This one, the Denima.
Denima.
And you like this one?
Oh yeah, this one.
One of each. There we
So
go.
Denima Elements.
Yep. Mag 800.
Mag 800. Some kind of sailor. These were the barons, and this is the prince.
That's the prince. Yep.
The prince. If you remember, and I'm sure you do, I kept calling it the prince because things were royalty. But
yes,
I'm also in the market for a bicycle that's called the prince.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So that would be perfect.
It would be.
We could get it. We can make one to match your color.
Make them match.
That's just outstanding, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's just. See, now this one though, I'd have to make sure that lines up just.
So now, you and Steph are doing the next podcast where, because this is just in, you will mention these. But I thought it would be a good idea to get a little more in depth because you won't go that in depth on a podcast.
No.
Oh, you brought some other pens. Oh, bring that M800.
So here's the M800.
The M800 is a big pen.
It's a good sized pen. Yeah.
It's my favorite size pen of the Pelicans. Now put it down next to some of these.
Put it down next to the short ones. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this really kind of dwarfs it. And you brought one other.
And this is the standard size Esterbrook.
Okay.
They make an oversized, but I wanted, these are all, everything that I brought up was fairly big except for the Eco. Throw the Eco in there just to give you a comparison. The Penlux Masterpiece.
Which is big and girthy.
Which is big and girthy. So here's the 1911, or not the 1911, the Esterbrook SD, the standard size.
Standard size.
Yeah. So.
These Magna Cartas are big pens.
They're big pens. Yeah. So they do make a couple of slimmer models. So for those that don't like big pens, we'll be looking into those in the near future. But
right, this is our first order.
This is the first order. Yeah.
We're going to see how they do. I think they should sell like hotcakes.
I think they're great. I
already want 4.
They're really a nice material. Let's take these out so we don't.
And I should say that the owner that came to visit us was such a nice man.
He was, yeah. Hiram was
such a nice
fantastic.
man.
And it's actually a family-run business, and his brother does some of the work, and then his family
knew what he was talking about.
Yeah,
he's got the lingo. He's obviously uses pens and loves pens, and
he's very interested in some pens that I think are going to be fantastic once he can make them. But they're just beautiful. They're different than anything else that I've seen on the market.
And this one.
So we'll see what's left after Eric buys. Yeah.
Not that I don't like them all.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if I had to choose one favorite of these, it would have to be this one.
This one, yeah.
And then one of these would be my second choice.
Yeah.
Micarta, I love Micarta, and this is so affordable at $150.
I thought that was dealer cost,
the
actually.
more
at
you
first.
use Micarta, it gets little smooth sections on it. It becomes your pen.
This is massive. That nib is just amazing.
But yeah, that one has the 8 nib. I just have to get one of each. Rotate them through the week.
So that's the first batch of Magna Carta. There are some other models that we're going to get in, but we thought we'd start with a few of these and then work our way. There's a couple more in this series, different shapes. They make a pneumatic filling, oversize,
Really?
which is interesting in these same materials. But
and these we're going to make sure are on the website right now as you're watching this, because as we're speaking, they're not actually yet on the website.
Yeah.
We have as we're doing Sunday Brunch, Steph is doing photography of these pens so that we can get them on the website. So really, you're the first to know.
Yep.
Generally speaking, it's the podcast audience, although I'm sure it is the same audience. And we will mention them on the podcast.
Yeah.
But I liked doing a first look in depth. And this was not a small number of pens that you picked up.
No, it wasn't. But if you don't see the nib you're looking for, because we have them set up by nib, we don't have extra nibs yet. Fine, medium, broad right now. What the options are.
Well, that covers me.
And I think they're fairly. They look like. Well, obviously these are made by Jovo supposedly, so that these are fairly Western in size. So
what you're saying then is Jovo is sending them the nibs, but not the whole nib unit, because they're making the ebonite feet.
Yeah. So this comes out on the number 8s here. This is actually just a whole threaded unit. Look how big and chunky that is.
That is big and chunky. I'm going to say this, but I could be wrong. But I thought he said he's making the 8s for them. Not the other way around.
We'll find out. We'll find out. Yeah.
And
but
that
regardless, it's a number 8 with an ebonite feet. Who else has that?
That's what I mean. Nobody.
Yeah, nobody.
We will get back to you on that. In fact, we'll find out before this is published and put a little banner down at the bottom.
I guess I know what I'm doing tonight. But
so there you have it.
There you have it.
That's it. The Magna Carta line, and as always, we have another joke. I'll go first this time.
My second one is better.
Better?
Oh, yeah.
Your first one was so bad, it was great. Did you know, Mr. Anderson, did you know that we humans were all born with 4 kidneys? It's true.
No.
But as we age, 2 of them grow into adult knees. Your turn.
What's the difference between ignorance and apathy?
This is an old one, but why don't you tell me?
Have I told us one before?
No.
Okay.
My father told me when I was 5.
Don't know? Don't care?
Don't care. But it's always good if it's the first time you heard it.
Yes.
Always good. I want to say thank you very much for joining us, and tune in next time, which is going to be Sunday, November 13th. We're just going to skip ahead a whole month, and we might get to your vintage pens then.
I have to keep them out of the case for another month?
You don't have to.
Should we tell them what it's going to be?
What it's going to be?
Yeah.
What's going to be?
What's in the case?
The
idea behind
the idea was, and it might come to fruition for the next Sunday Brunch, is I asked Mr. Anderson to go to the second drawer of his pen chest and pull the first 10 pens on the left, and then bring them here and we can talk about them, because he has a massive collection of very interesting pens, and any drawer, any 10 pens would be a show and interesting. So that is what you did.
Yes. Yeah. And actually, I was wrong. What I told you was in there is not what.
So you surprised yourself.
I surprised myself. Yeah.
But it doesn't matter what drawer.
No.
It doesn't matter which 10. Because I have actually sat in your house with you doing this with the
It's almost a little embarrassing.
Everything has a story, and what makes it truly interesting is that you know so much about every pen. So that might be next time, unless we get a whole nother line of pens.
I doubt it. Maybe. Who knows?
Who knows? It's a month away.
By the way.
But thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.